the Padres have a massive decision to make. The trade deadline is going to be upon us quicker than I think any of us want to admit, and somebody needs to go. Someone needs to get fixed. Something needs to happen for the San Diego Padres if we want to stay in this playoff race and have some true deep postseason potential. What's going on, everybody? Christian Pedersen back with another episode of Padres Digest. Thank you very much for tuning in. This is part of the show where I introduce myself, the show, ask if you can hit the subscribe button, and say, let's go back to talking about baseball. All right, you saw relievers. I say golden opportunity. What are we talking about? I say big decisions to make. What are we talking about? Well, we're talking about that right now in this season. As of us recording this, the Padres, I think, have ping-ponged back and forth from being the depths of despair to, oh, dude, we're absolutely crushing it, and kind of everywhere in between. But the recent trend seems to be that the team is not hitting well, and everybody is discussing, let's get, I don't know why that gave a thumbs up. Apologies, never have been able to figure that out. Let's get a new left fielder. Let's get rid of Xander. Let's get a DH. Let's do trade. I have done a bunch of these. I have read a bunch of these. You guys are talking about these in the comment section of just going down the list with the White Sox, with the Orioles, with the Red Sox, with the Rockies, with the Marlins, like all the different trade options. But all these millions of permutations are for left field, DH, with a slash of first base, catcher, pitcher, or first base, catcher, short, some other options like that. But I would like to propose, or at least ponder the thought, that maybe the real issue here that the Padres could make a decision on and could make the big change, if there is one big change to be made to fix the Padres, because as of us recording right now, we're still above 500. We're still in the hunt. We're within 5 games of first place in the West. There's still a ton of the season left to go. But I think this is an interesting stat right here. As of us recording this pod, the Padres have led in the previous 15 games, are sub 500 in that span. I believe that actually that this extends to 16 with the game with last night's game of them scoring first on Shohei. So add another tick in the negative 500 there. So 16 games, Padres have had a lead in all of them. This, not the most infinite sample size. 16 is not 160, but 16 is 10% of the season. It's enough for me to look at that and go, okay, what's really going on here? When you look at the numbers, the Padres statistically, offensively, are not super duper elite. They have a couple of guys who are hitting really well this season, a bunch of guys that are kind of hitting 230 to 250, and then a couple of guys that, like Campy, didn't even register a hit yet this year. Like, there's a couple down at the bottom. So if you look at all the offensive rankings, the Padres are like a mid to low, like somewhere between 18th and 24th kind of on everything. On the flip side of that, if you look at the bullpen stats or the pitching stats, or whatever you want to break it down here, this is MLB pitching broken down by ERA. Padres are a top 10 team there. Padres are, for all of the other stats, a top 15 team. We don't need to dive too deeply into they're 19th in strikeouts versus 12th in walk, but just call it aggregate across the board. The San Diego Padres are a bottom half offensive team and a top half pitching team. We are not an asset deep team in terms of our ability to just be like, oh, we can go do that signature trade and that signature trade and still have some farm products left over next year. It's kind of, we got one real good punch, one good deal in us right now, on having to then start talking about really, we're leveraging every asset we've got left and are becoming just a win now kind of program, which, like, maybe that works. Drop a comment if you really don't, if you don't care about holding on to minor leaguers. Maybe you're like, oh, yeah, let's go dish them all. LDV, get rid of them. But here's my thought. Does fixing left field take a 17th overall, just call it in aggregate, like the 17th or 18th best offense, to being the 5th best offense? Or does fixing left field put us from 17th to, 14th or something like that? Make us better, but not all that better. Whereas, does moving us up from being the number 6 bullpen in baseball to the number 3 bullpen in baseball change this stretch right here from in 16 games going, 7-9 in games where you've been in the lead to going 12-4? I'm not saying we win all of them. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying that if we're looking at trades and we're looking at, obviously we need to do something. What are we going to do as a Padres franchise? I'm saying maybe add to the bullpen. I think we can add to the bullpen without it being a complete draining and leveraging of all assets. Now, I don't even want to dive into specifics of wanting to get rid of or replace guys. This is the current iteration of the bullpen as of us recording this right now. There have been a fair amount of cycling through back end guys. We got some people like Waldron who are in the minors ready to call up that will probably see some starting time, see some bullpen time. There's some pieces that maybe it's a mixture of bringing up some dudes and or trading for some guys. Maybe there's one elite guy that emerges as a useless setup or closer for a sub 500 team that the Padres can go swoop up in the next 2 months. Maybe it's a combo of mid-tier deals where the Padres can send some of this cavalcade of minor league bats that are getting some major league opportunities, like a Bryce Johnson, or just people like that, in exchange for a reliever who can come in and help a little bit but doesn't break the bank. I don't know. That's just kind of where I think my massive decision thesis kind of brain is right now, is that they can pivot from the focus being, let's try and really fix it does anything. Is there, I'm wondering out loud, and maybe you guys, in the comment section, let's work through this together. I'm wondering right now, could, instead of, like I said, trying to go fix left field and bring us, drag us forward, oh my goodness, this one guy is going to fix the whole offense or something like that, and then we're going to start winning all these games because that left fielder is hitting 278 instead of 218, or with having 2 more B+, 1 more A-, something type like that arm in the bullpen, mean that we are already producing enough runs and our starting pitching, despite everything that's going on there, is holding it together long enough for us to be in these games, that then we could start winning them once we bolster the bullpen a little bit. So, I don't know. Look at this group. Let us know. Drop a comment on directly if you think there's some of these that are more of the issue than others. Maybe you think this is a Mike Shildt thing and just his overall usage of them. So maybe the fix isn't even external. I don't know. Seeing that tweet about us losing as many games as we have where we've been in the lead just kind of got my brain thinking that maybe we've been focusing on the wrong spot to try and fix the Padres. Let me know what you think in the comment section, and if you could hit the subscribe button, it would be much appreciated. Until next time, Padres fans, we'll talk to you soon.